Hi, I'm Joe with Electro Southeast. Today we're going to take a look at the SLX400. We're going to do a assembly, disassembly, cleaning, and operation video. I just wanted to start off by showing that this machine came with a manual that has all of what we're going to go over in detail in the manual. We have a cheat sheet for draining the product, cleaning, assembly, and sanitizing and priming the machine. We also have a cheat sheet for gaskets, and this is going to show you the air tube side. This will show you the head side, and the gasket will actually fit on this chart, and then you'll be able to make sure that you have the right part number if you need to reorder them, or you'll know where on the head these gaskets are supposed to go. Okay, so we're going to start with the assembly of the freezer. We're going to start with the beaters, and then we're going to work our way toward the head, and the last thing we'll do is the top. We're going to start by making sure that we have lubricant. Our lubricant is NSF certified, and we're going to start by assembling this beater. So we have one beater. We have our rear seal. This rear seal can be put on either way, and it's going to seal properly. We're going to start by putting a little bit of lube around the inside of the shaft. We just want to make sure that we get good lubrication, because this is going to spin within that seal, but we don't want to get lubrication on the gear at the end. So now we got that. We're going to put a little bit along the edge there. Next, we're going to insert our breaker bar. Our breaker bar, we have a little bit of lubricant at the end there, and a little bit of lubricant at the front here. Those are the 2 points of contact, and then they will slide right down the middle of our beater. And the last part of assembly for the beater is to install our blades. One thing we always want to check is that our blades on the edge, this should be a completely flat wall. As the blades start to wear, you'll start to see this edge get worn down, and it'll start to cause problems. We're going to make sure that you guys have proper blades on stock for when they need to be changed, but it's just something to visually inspect to make sure there's no damage to the blade as we're assembling the machine. And these always go with the flat side out. And there's our assembled auger. I'm going to slide. When assembling these, or when installing these beaters into the machine, I've always found it easier to make sure the blades are vertical and that the rear blade is on the bottom. What that does is it gives it some support as you're sliding it back. Just keeps everything lined up nice and tight. You're going to give it a twist, well, give it a little push, and it'll lock in place. At that point, we want to make sure that these breaker bars, they're going to naturally want to fall into this orientation. We want to make sure that we have the 2 wings on the sides. That'll line up with the head as we put those together. Okay, so now we're ready to start assembling the head. We can start with our plungers. We have the 2 side plungers are going to have 2 gaskets for each, and then our middle plunger is going to have the 2 gaskets plus the 2 round gaskets. These plungers are going to stop mix from getting from one side to the other. That's why this one goes in the middle. So it's as simple as just sliding these gaskets on. And again, if you're not sure which gaskets go where, you'll be able to see which ones kind of fit on there, but we have that cheat sheet manual that shows you exactly which one's going to go where. Probably easier after getting the first gasket on to put the side parts on first, and then your last gasket will slide over all the way to the end. Okay, now we have these all assembled. We're going to want to put some lube on these gaskets, and this can just be a real thin layer of lube. You just want to get it completely across all of the material so that when we're trying to pull ice cream out of this machine, it's nice and soft, it's nice and smooth. Okay. So now we can install these into the head. We have our side plunger. Other side plunger. And then our middle plunger. And the way these plungers go in is you'll have the hole toward the front. That's where the handle is going to go in. So you can see we have the three handles for the machine. And we're going to notice that one is a little bit longer than the other two. That's going to be this one. So the longer one's going to be in the middle. So what we're going to do is line this up on the side. We have our locking pin. Slide that through. Now we're going to take our long one for the middle. Lock it through. Now we're going to take the one for the right side and lock that through as well. So now our three handles are installed. On the other side of the head now, we have our two door gaskets that need to go on. So just slap right around there. Slide right on, and then we're just going to put a little bit of lube on those as well. Make sure that they get a good seal around the inside of the cylinder. We don't have any leaks. And the very last thing that we need to do for the head is to put these star caps on. This is what gives our product that star-shaped texture as it comes out of the machine. Alright, our head is fully assembled. Now let's move on to our air tubes. We have the two gaskets for each of these guys. And just slide right onto the bottom there. Over, and then you have two there. And these are just going to slide right in place. So the way that these work, just as a refresher, when this has the white dot, you have no hole. This completely shuts off the top from the bottom of the machine. First hole is going to be small, second one's medium, third one's large. So what we're going to want to do is that when it turns to night setting, we're going to go to the 0, and when we go to day setting, we're going to be at the largest hole. And that's it for this part, so let's assemble the head. Okay, so now we're ready to install the head on the front of the machine. We verified that both of our breaker bars are set with the wings on the side, and you'll see on the inside of the faceplate that gives us grooves that lines up with that. So once those are set up, we can just slide this right on. With my door screws, I usually just get each one started before I start cranking any down. Then I try to do them evenly. So now that they're all started, we're going to screw them in. I'll just switch back and forth to make sure I get everything in there evenly. And now that they're nice and snug, we'll come over and we're going to add our connectors. There's a little hole in the top of the machine that these slide up into, and then they just sit right there. So when you pull the handle, it pushes the handle back down. It also tells the machine that you pulled the handle to turn the machine on. Okay. And our air tubes, we're just going to put those in the top for the next stage, which is sanitizing.